Hmm. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Nasdaq, S&P, Dow breaking all-time highs today. Nvidia back up to the 190s, and I'm slowly waking up. Give me a second. Slowly waking up. Give me a second. Yeah, I still never figured out why the camera essentially switched dots. I have to look that up. Oh wait, I think I know what to do. Better. Yeah, look at the Nasdaq. Very bullish this morning. Very bullish. We had earnings as well. Yields are over 4% still. We're going into the Fed decision this week. Commerce Secretary Lutnick. A lot of this news had to do with Japan as well. The big news that happened is essentially that number one, we had CPI show up last week that was at 3%. And that basically confirmed rate cuts this week, 25 basis point cuts, what's priced into the market now. Also, negotiators in the China-US deal confirmed a prelim framework deal between the US and China over the weekend. What happened? So. The stocks, the Nasdaq, S&P, Dow are all open at all-time highs. Asian and European markets are up. Nikkei hitting new milestone, breaking 50,000 on optimism. Again, on Wednesday we have the Fomc meeting. If you look at the odds right now for yields, again, they're at 4.028% last time I looked at them. Yeah, so here's yields, 4.028%. What we got for this? Yeah, so here's the yields. They're up. They were lower than this last week, if I remember correctly. They might be down on the day, though, but yeah, you can see yields over the last few days are up. You know, this is the 24th right here, so this is Friday. And so yeah, we're elevated a little bit on yields. If we take a look at rate cut odds, though, they're still 97% likely, 3% likely of a pause. So it's still pretty likely we're going to cut rates. All right, so we had Fitch just come out saying Australia is relatively insulated from U.S. tariff risk. We had some earnings, nothing really big this morning, though. Yields and interest rates follow each other, and so yields being higher. I mean, yields are down a lot, though, so they're at 4% basically right now. The next FOMC meeting is on Wednesday this week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when they're going to announce. Again, JP Morgan thinks they're going to announce an end to QT on Wednesday. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but it might. You never know. Yeah, so I saw a lot of Bank of Japan news over the weekend when I would glance at social media. I'd see a lot of Bank of Japan news. The Japan's finance minister, Katayama, says he had a meeting with U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent and that they reaffirmed the importance of cooperation. See what other news dropped. About, I know the Bank of Japan had a bunch of news. Like it broke 50,000. The Nikkei broke 50K for the first time. If we take a look at gold, gold's still low. It's at 4,042, so it's still pretty close. Yeah, so Treasury Secretary Bessent in a meeting with Japan's Katayama says it's an honor to be in Japan on the day the Nikkei 225 went over 50,000. That's going on. Markets watching the yen closely. Expectations with the Bank of Japan will delay tightening. Potential causing yen to weaken. Core inflation in Japan has still stayed high and is above the 2% target. The newly appointed Prime Minister Kaichi is known proponent of accommodative Abenomics policies and has publicly called for them to be cautious with rate hikes. I think that's what U.S. markets want, is low rates. But yeah, NASDAQ, I don't know what to do with it here. It's so high right now. Maybe I'll look for a dip to buy, but we had a really good week last week. Yeah, they're saying the reason gold is down is because the U.S.-China trade talks have optimism now, with a framework deal in place, essentially. Yeah, I'm trying to fit the scroller. So yeah, gold is down basically on US-China news. People are optimistic. You know, the deadline for the US-China deal was November 1st until, what was it? Was it 110% tariffs that he threatened? Yeah, this week the U.S. president and China's president are supposed to meet, and so the news is hoping that they get a deal done. Yeah, I mean the U.S. and China is the world's two largest economies. Yeah, we'll try to trade this though. I mean, look, the Nasdaq's at all-time highs here. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia all-time highs are mid 195s if I remember correctly. Yeah, 195.62, and it's at 190s now. Bitcoin back up to 115s. Yeah, yields are higher because the market's kind of on a yields are higher. Really, there's a reason for it, is because the market has kind of pivoted to more of a risk on. With market breaking all-time highs, US-China fears easing a little bit. What people do is they sell their risk-off assets, which are bonds, right? And bond prices and yields inverse each other. And so when people start selling their bonds, yields increase. Bond prices fall and yields go up. And that's kind of what we're seeing now, just because more optimism with US-China relations. Yeah, Treasury Secretary Bessent stated that the president's threat of 100% tariff on Chinese goods is, quote, effectively off the table. China has also reportedly agreed to delay its expansion of export controls on rare earths and rare earth minerals. which is big for the U.S. tech sector. Framework is expected to be formalized during their meeting this week, which is Thursday, October 30th in South Korea. If you take a look at AMD's at 258. It's been wild though, man. AMD has been flying up. 263s earlier in pre-market. Again, AMD now at all-time highs, up to almost 260 in pre-market this morning, which is they're going to cut rates 25 basis points. Almost like, you know, it's not 100% likely, but it's close. I'm going to do a poll with the US and China. Get a deal done for November 1st. Deadline. I'd vote on that poll. That poll's live as well. Gold's going down on optimism. You know, gold is a safe haven asset. And so when it's more calm economically, gold settles sometimes. Government's still shut down. Today is day 27. Not looking like anything's going to stop this anytime soon. If we take a look at odds here, SNAP funding supposed to hit around 40 million people. Shutdown is now expected to last 46 days. The 25th, which was I think Friday, it got as high as 48 days. Bro, it better not last this long. I'm hoping these are just odds. Like, it better not last this long. Yeah, a trade deal looming is causing gold to kind of settle a little bit. Yeah, gold had its first weekly drop since mid-August last week as US-China stuff took away some of the demand for safe havens. Bullion went down 1.3%. You know, futures are at around 4,050 an ounce. Now, the thing to watch for gold is that if anything fragments in terms of U.S.-China relations, gold might spike again. You know, but as of now, it's looking more optimistic, but this could certainly change. Bill news. We did have some earnings this morning. If we take a look at the earnings, it was Wednesday's the big day. We got Meta, Microsoft, and Google. Wednesday, and Carvana, Chipotle, more. So Wednesday's the big day. Thursday we also have Apple, I think. Yeah, Thursday we have Apple and Amazon. But today we had Keurig Dr. Pepper, which came in as expected at 54-cent EPS. Revenue should have been 4.31 versus 4.14 billion expected. Carter's showed up at 74 cents versus 78 cents expected, a miss. We had Bank of Marin. Nothing else really big though. Most of the earnings this morning were small. We had Keurig Dr. Pepper, is probably the biggest company. Yeah, we got SoFi tomorrow morning, and some other ones. What 22% is really not that much in 1929. Yeah, USA hopes to get a trade deal with Japan done today. Yeah, Visa. All right, so we're dipping down. I might actually buy this dip. It's kind of risky, but I'll, you know, we made so much money last week. We can take a small trade right now, just based off of the market. Oh wait. Top step X down. Top step X down for an EU. Might not be able to trade right now. It's not loading. Yeah, I mean, here's Bitcoin right here. Okay, wait, there we go. It got back up. Mine just didn't load for a second. I don't know what. Alright. Okay. Gonna buy this pullback. Do I have time still? Kind of. Try. Got 2 contracts here. It's small range though. The range is actually not the biggest. I might add some more down to 25 and then that's it. The FOMC meeting is going to be Wednesday. It's always on Wednesday. Clarify. Alright, so there's the dip here. I'm going to add a little bit more to this. We have 4 micros here. That's it. Got the dip to the 200 exponential. Gonna pop back up. Might reduce some size here. Got a little bounce at the 200 exponential. Let's see if it continues. ASTS. Yeah, Tesla. Cantor Fitzgerald raised Tesla's price target to 510. Tesla up to 440s. He highlighted production for the Cybercab Semi and Megapack remain on track for next year, fiscal year 26. Optimus production targeted for next year. They also expect notable increase in CapEx, 9.2 billion for this year, 12 billion for next year. They remain bullish on Tesla's medium to long-term prospects, citing upside in energy storage, FSD, robotaxi, semis, and Optimus bots. Okay, so I saw something this morning that said the American Federation of Government Employees says it's time to pass a clean CR and reopen the government. I'm for it. Y'all do this. Pass it. All right, so let's see if we get the bounce at the 200 exponential. Here's the 200 EMA. Yeah, I think we're going to cut 25 basis points. I think it's unlikely we do anything else. I mean, it's possible. We could pause. I don't think it's going to be 50. I think we're going to cut 25 basis points. I think that's like the safe measure is 25, small cut. Yeah, Like, I think the safest measure is small 25 basis points, personally. What do you guys think? What do you guys think we will do? I mean, I think we're going to cut 25 basis points. It's the most probable outcome. But what do you guys think we should do? Not what we are going to do, which is probably a 25 basis point cut, but what we should. All right, there we go. I'm going to take a piece off up here at the top if it gives me filled. I'm going to add some size back here. I'm going to take 4 contracts now. If we refill this. A big rejection though. Look at that candle wick up here. Gold's still coming back down. Looking less favorable. I should probably just cut it now. It's pretty small. I mean, I don't know if this is easy price action to take advantage of, but under the 200 exponential, we'll see if we get back over it. We might take another position. Yeah, so the US and Japan announced a strategic trade and investment framework in July of this year. Japan agreed to accept 15% baseline US tariffs on most of its imports in exchange for tariff adjustments on US agricultural exports. They also pledged $550 billion investment into the United States in strategic sectors like semiconductors, minerals, shipbuilding, AI, and quantum. So today, the president arrived in Japan, the next leg of his Asia tour. His only scheduled event for today is a meeting with their leaders. Tomorrow, there's supposed to be high-level trade talks and signing of cooperation memorandums. So we're back over the 200 exponential. We'll see if we hold. So if you want to check out Top Step, here's the link for that. I'll put the link up. It's a good way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in future. You day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold. Good way to help support the channel. Here's the link. Cheaper to learn this way most of the time. I mean, most day traders lose. So understand all this stuff on screen. Not an investment professional. I'm only posting this. Somebody's asking for a promo code. I don't have a code. I have a link if you want to check it out. Yeah, the PDT rule, I have to look to see when that's going to change. But yeah, they're supposed to be changing the PDT rule from 25K down to $2,000, which would make it a lot more accessible for most traders. Gold testing lows. Yeah, I mean, gold's breaking down. It's at 4,043. The NASDAQ break here. I'm looking at other breaking news here. We had the US-Japan news. GameStop is up big today. If you take a look at GameStop this morning, got up to 25.20s. Yeah, White House reposted its declaration ending the console wars. Listen, I'm a big Halo guy, but I don't know if the console wars are over necessarily. Halo going to PS5 though. Yeah. Read a stat that gold's still hitting 4,028. I think 4,000's a big psychological level for gold, of course. You know. What about PlayStation 1? I was always an Xbox person because I like Halo. I'd consider, if the controls aren't difficult on the new console, I might get a PlayStation. And again, look at Nvidia, guys. Nvidia right around 190s, which is good. You know, all-time highs 195s. Again, Tesla raised. We had a lot of good news on U.S.-Japan relations. Besant likely held talks with Bank of Japan Ueda during IFM meetings. Japan's finance minister, he said, quote, "We reaffirm close communications with U.S. Treasury Secretary Besant." Today, there's supposed to be a virtual European Union-China technical meeting on rare earths today. Yeah, Commerce Secretary Lutnick said in a Nikkei interview that Washington will likely relax regulations on visas to enable foreign workers to come to the U.S. to build factories and train Americans. Gotta just chop in here on the NASDAQ. We've been breaking down a little bit after breaking all-time highs earlier in the morning. Gold's starting to fight its way back up, though. We also had Keurig Dr. Pepper post a couple things. They're doing their earnings call right now. They said, announces capital efficient $7 billion strategic investment co-led by Apollo. They were among a small number of companies in talks with Coca-Cola about a takeover of Costa Coffee. Breaking down a little bit in the NASDAQ here, look. Yeah, Nasdaq's falling back down though after breaking highs this morning. Yeah, White House. Yeah, they don't know much about video games. Of course. I don't know. Barron might not. I don't know. But this all mostly stems from like the Xbox putting out the, what is it, the ROG? I don't know if I'm pronouncing, not ROG. It's the handheld. Xbox handheld. Which is essentially like a little mini PC is what it is. I'm trying to see what stocks are dropping like this. Not really Nvidia. Tesla's down a little bit. Apple. Microsoft. AMD maybe? AMD's falling back down a little bit. See how deep this goes. Look at the Nasdaq fall here. Trying to see if there's some news driving this move down, but I don't think so. Not that I see yet. Again, yields are up a little bit today. Mostly risk on assets, but they might be deep. Looking at our poll numbers, we asked people, will the U.S. trying to get a deal done before November 1st? 62% say yes, 38% say no. Yeah, we do have the FOMC decision on Wednesday. Yeah, it's the ROG, Xbox Ally. That's it. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're starting to correct a little bit. We're down some on the NQ, though. We've been breaking down for the last hour or so. Nasdaq's just been fading. If we keep breaking down. He was a little slim this morning. U.S.-China news optimism. FOMC peak is just big headlines taking up stuff. How much is the Ally? I don't know, man. I looked it up and said if I wanted to play Halo on it, it would be it wouldn't be in 1080p. So I was just kind of like, I'm alright. Like handhelds are cool and all, but I don't really, you know. Yeah, so it looks like we broke all-time highs and now we're dipping all the way back down. Nasdaq got up to 25,852. Kind of a big level here. Yeah, I mean, a framework has been announced and agreed upon essentially from U.S. China is the news. Like a framework has essentially been agreed upon. Yeah, it's now the fourth week, day 27. Senate failed to advance the continuing resolution 11 times for the government shutdown. It's not the fourth week. Morgan Stanley says the impact of U.S. sanctions on Russell oil. Still unclear. They said the effects of U.S. sanctions on Russian oil remain uncertain, although clarity should emerge in the coming weeks. Oil prices jumped. If we take a look at oil today, oil's up to 61.50 or so. They said oil prices jumped out of the sanction on Rosneft and Lukoil, but the bank noted past rallies tied to sanctions also had limited impact on exports. Crude exports have averaged in Russia 3.1 million barrels per day this year, maintaining they're mainly to India, China, and Turkey. All right, guys. So yeah, again, Nasdaq, S&P, Dow, all-time highs this morning. We don't really have any economic news this week aside from the Fomc decision because everything's closed. Yields are a little bit elevated. Again, we're supposed to have durable good orders today, though. Does that come out? Durable goods might move things. We'll see. Let me look this up. All right, we're back up to 822s here. Big rebound back up. Durable goods, are coming out today. I think durable goods are actually coming out. Good. My understanding, at least. We are getting something in terms of durable goods. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this. Durable goods orders. October 27th. Yeah, but I think it's supposed to be released by the census.gov. So think. I'm trying to make sure. The data collection for advanced report on durable goods, manufacturers, shipments, inventories, and orders for the month of September completed by the Census Bureau before the federal lapse on October 1st. Unlike the jobs report and the retail sales report, which require massive follow-up processing that has been furloughed, the durable goods is one of the more streamlined prelim reports. Violetis set a precedent last week by recalling staff to push out the CPI. But basically, AI says it's coming out. I'm asking it to show me the sources now just to make sure, but AI says it's coming out. It should be something, right? That's in 30 minutes. That's what it looks like. No, the mic's the same. The same mic I've always had. Yeah, I mean, I'm checking other reports, but I think durable goods are coming out. Yeah, core durable goods. I'm showing they're scheduled to come out. And then tomorrow we do have like the Case-Shiller house price index. That's it though. I think durable goods are coming out. We got the Fomc decision. We're supposed to have GDP data this Thursday, but yeah, ask it. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure durable goods coming out. Checking their their website now. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure durable goods do come out today sometime. Yeah, we'll see. Durable goods set to drop, I think, at 8:30. All right. Look at that pop. Make sure there's no news. Okay, so the Mexican trade balance just came out at 8 a.m. I don't think this is moving markets, but you never know. What's being weird is it not reloading? Yeah, so is this the anniversary of the 1929 stock market crash? Yeah. Again, I think durable goods coming out at 8:30 today. At least it's something. We'll cover it. Gold's pushing back up. Yeah, well, the market just got a big rip. I'm looking for news. Goldman Sachs is jockeying for a $10 billion mandate for its asset management arm from Kuwait's wealth fund as part of the Wall Street Bank's effort to bolster its private market strategy and compete with large players. Again, the president said this morning that the U.S. and China are set to come away with a trade and tariff deal ahead of his meeting this week with the Chinese leader. MicroStrategy also bought 390 Bitcoin October 20th through the 26th. They bought 390 for an aggregate purchase price of $43.4 million. NASDAQ back over the 200 exponential, but look at gold. Gold at 4,050 right now. News is a little light this morning. We got some stock news, but if we get a dip here, we'll buy this on the NASDAQ. We'll try to trade it. Yeah, no, I know. The market's mostly breaking all-time highs on that news. Yeah, NASDAQ's still pushing up here. All-time highs on the NASDAQ are now right here if you take a look at it. Here's the NASDAQ 850s. Right around 850 is the new all-time high. If you take a look at the Dow, here's the mini Dow. We are at 47,614s, but the all-time highs on the Dow are now somewhere around here, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, all-time highs on the Dow are now up there at like... Make sure. Here's a weekly chart. Yeah, all-time highs on the Dow are now 47,773. If we take a look at the E-mini, S&P E-mini, all-time highs on the S&P are now up where we are now at 68,000. So, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow. And again, there's a couple things. Like, if we don't get a trade deal done before the October 1st deadline, markets might come right back down. You know, if we have to extend again and do another extension here, markets might come right back down. We'll see. You know, but I think the market's kind of nervous about all this stuff. But again, it's still optimistic. We're at all-time highs this morning. Take a look at the E-mini all-time highs. E-mini all-time high now what? Up here at 68.90. And I think the S&P E-mini and the S&P wants 7,000. I think that's a really obvious psychological level that it's kind of pushing towards just 7,000. We're so close to that now. We're $110 away on the S&P. And so I think the S&P wants 7,000. 7,000 would be right up here. Now it's not that close, but it's not super far away either. Here's 7,000 on the S&P. Big psychological area. I think in the NASDAQ, obviously, all-time highs as well. 25,852 on the NQ. So, yeah, we do have durable goods coming out 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We got 4 durable goods coming out 8:30. 25 minutes. Buy this little pullback here. See if this holds. We'll try it. We put in another account here. Where's the trading? This is about 3. I just want to see if we continue that upward trend. I'll try to hold this a little bit longer, but get Nvidia around 190s, close enough to all-time highs. AMD flying up as well at 260s almost. So if AMD just holds these gains, it'll be breaking like its effective all-time high at the opening bell if it just holds. 263.50 is what it hit earlier than the pre-market. And my computer's acting a little wonky. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We got over 100 likes already. That's good. And core durable good orders. Could add a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to. We're down about $30 from this. It's actually pretty small, but I'll let it test this level at 200 EMA here. Weird rogue orders. There's crypto. Look at these candles. Yeah, I'm gonna take most of this off. This looks catalyst driven. Let me make sure. China securities regulator says to optimize pricing mechanism for new share issuance. Look at that rip here. I don't know what's causing this. I guess I'll sit in the last. I took most profit already. That was a big bounce. Strange. Let me know if you guys see anything on the wire causing a move like that. Tesla. UPS stock is good for dividends. Yeah, I don't know what caused this big pop, but good enough. Guess I'll take this off up here. Getting close to the all-time high level in the NASDAQ here, so we are edging a little bit closer. Again, we got durable good orders at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, so I don't know how much it's going to move markets, but it is one of the only economic reports we get on this Fed week. We got durable goods. We got the Case-Shiller House Price Index tomorrow. That might, I don't know if it's going to cause anything, but yeah, how's quantum stocks? I heard quantum stocks were running a little bit better today. QBTS, Rigetti. Yeah, I mean, they're still in the midst of a pullback, but a lot of them are starting to not break back down, so we'll see if that continues. Tesla risks losing CEO Musk if 1 trillion pay package isn't approved, according to the board. Did this news just came out? I don't think that's going to move anything. Let's take a look at Tesla. Yeah, we had the 200 exponential retest, which is what I tried to buy it in. My biggest problem is I don't wait for these levels. So like I buy it right here or whatever, and then I got to deal with the pullback that gets me nervous and stopped out half the time. That time it didn't. I'm lucky we bounced like right here at that level. But look, the NASDAQ looks like it's going to break all-time highs pretty soon here. We're getting very close to it. So we'll see if we can buy another pullback into it. We're getting close enough to where I'd love to try to target a pullback if we get one. Remember, all-time highs are right here, 852. We're at 843s right now. So if we can get a small dip, I'll buy it. Need at least somewhat of a pullback. I'll start to add into this pullback here. We're gonna start small so we can add. Might not get a chance to, depending on how high this thing goes. Yeah, SoFi earnings tomorrow. I need a larger pullback, preferably. Like, I'd like one down to like 835s. This is fine. We'll add up to 4 or 5 contracts on a dip. I just want to see if we move back up and retest highs. We're still close to all-time highs, which are right here. We're in one of the more voluminous parts of pre-market. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. No. Top 3 biggest trading ever. Don't copy me. Yeah, gold's been fading down. I mean, gold's at 4,040. So gold, you know, it's a risk-on asset. It's a risk-on dynamic, right? When risk-on is here, sell gold a little bit more. So we did get a pop up here. I don't know what I want to do with this. Yeah, I mean, most day traders are just going to lose regardless of where they go. Most day traders are just going to lose. Doesn't matter what course they take, who they follow, most day traders are just how it goes. I might switch the music up. Yeah, GameStop is up, which is good. On essentially the console war news that the console wars are done for GameStop. That's why they're up. White House reposted it or something like that, and so GameStop traders are looking for a reason here. They got one with the White House reposting it. Now they're at 2430s. So here's GameStop this morning in pre-market. Got up to over 25s. It's back down to 24s now, though. All right, so again, we were going to add to this. Now we get a chance to add right here. The swings this morning are kind of wild, though. Like, some of these candles are just funny looking candles. They just burst out of nowhere and then they go back up or down. I don't think I'm going to add too much more to this, though. Might reduce some size here, actually, at the top. I think in early November, the clocks go back. Called fall back. So we gain an hour early November. I think it's November 5th. I might be wrong. It might be November 2nd. November 2nd. We gain an hour on November 2nd. What happens? Which I'm excited. I'm always excited when we gain an hour. Yeah, a lot of people talking about the I thought it was the 1929 anniversary. Check. October 29th. Black Tuesday. Wall Street crash of 1929. So this will be on Wednesday. Same week, same day as the Fed meeting is when that is. Is that I'm showing here. It was originally on a Tuesday, but this one's on a Wednesday. Again, the anniversary of 1929. October 29th, 1929, stock market crash, triggering a global economic crisis. Oh, you're talking about Black Monday. Yeah, Black Monday was October 19th, 1987. Worldwide losses for Black Monday were $1.71 trillion. So. Oh wait, is durable goods delayed? Bro, AI might just be wrong about everything then. I titled my stream already. On AI? You gotta do better than that. Send AI this and say, what's going on, AI? You told me this was different. Now there's a chance maybe this old line's getting it wrong. AI sounded pretty confident, but I don't know if that's necessarily good. Yeah, AI acted pretty confident in this data, unfortunately. Kind of yelling at it right now. All right, let me check this up. Looking at the event calendar. It does. The U.S. Census Bureau does have it as scheduled for today. The only thing, though, about this is that it says at the top of the screen, due to the lapse in federal funding, portion of this website are not updated. I mean, I don't know, man. Look, here is the website. And look, it does have it scheduled for today. Wish they would tell us. Yeah, we'll see at 8:30. Yeah, no, I saw the Walter Bloomberg post. All right, so we're still pushing up a little bit here on this trade. I think I'm just going to sit in this and hold the rest close to break even if we pull back. Hopefully it doesn't, though. Yeah, it's hard to find a source on whether the durable goods orders are coming out today. A lot of websites have it scheduled. Now, investing.com posted durable goods new home sales report today. Maybe they just don't know. This one's actually confusing. Asking it right now if there's any confirmed sources that say it's coming out today. Yeah, no, I follow him on X, on Walter Bloomberg. Yeah, so it's unlikely it comes out today, I think. Fortunately. Just in case, I'll keep it up, but yeah, it's hard to tell for sure. Like we don't know what's actually coming out and what's not. It's not supposed to come out, but it actually is scheduled on their website too, which is strange, you know, for today. And so it's hard to figure out which one's right. And then if I look at like others, a lot of places have it scheduled too. We'll keep the stream title until 8:30. It's 7 minutes in case it actually comes out, but there we go. Do I get filled up here? Get filled. There we go. That's one. Let the last one. No data is good data, kind of, but not for me. I'd rather the durable goods come out. I'd rather something come out, but yeah, just to clarify, unknown if durable goods are going to come out today. I don't think they will, but I'm going to keep it up just in case. Where's the other one? I got a couple of these. Oh, dude, I'm realizing my ticker list isn't up, dude. Forgot about my ticker list here. Hold on. That one. There it is. I don't know what happened. Forgot about my ticker list. There we go, that's better. Alright, we're still breaking out here on this one. I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. Try to ride it up and kind of add to it, see if it continues. Look at gold. Gold back over the 200 exponential, back over 4,050. I'd watch 4,050 right here. The market's getting close to all-time highs, but not quite there yet. We've taken most of the profit off of this trade, but what the market's been doing, it's been making big red candles and big green candles, so it's a little bit difficult to trade. Look, this red candle just dumps down. So it's definitely a little wild, like different today. I don't think we're getting durable goods, but AI said that it was likely to be compiled before the shutdown started for durable goods, right? And so we'll keep the title just in case. We're supposed to get new home sales today at 10 o'clock as well, but I don't. The range is still pretty quiet though. All right, will we get durable goods? According to Walter Bloomberg, the answer is no. All right, so Raymond James expects de-escalation from the president and Chinese president meeting this week. Raymond James strategist Ed Mills expects de-escalatory outcomes from this week's meeting between both presidents in Busan, citing recent tensions as leverage, not escalation. He said recent U.S. talks were positive, raising hopes for tariff suspension and easing of trade and tech restrictions, including relief on rare earths and semiconductor exports. He noted progress will likely come through incremental easing, not major deals. So, if he's right. That's why the NASDAQ and everything's at all-time highs. It's mostly from optimism around this deal. Yeah, I don't know if durable goods are coming out. I really don't. They're supposed to drop in 3 minutes. I just don't know if they're coming out today. But we're going to cover it just in case. One source tells me that they were already compiled, so they're probably released today. The other source tells me they're not coming out. So we will see which source is correct. I don't know for sure. Last time they were 1.1% for month over month for core, negative 2.7% for headline durable goods. It's a big tech week though. Tesla chairperson Robin Dunholm urges shareholders to vote for proposal 1, 3, and 4 at AGM. Yeah, we got about 2 minutes. Again, I don't know if this report's coming out today or not. I really don't. Yeah, I never do good with tequila. All right, guys, we got 1 minute left. Odds of the U.S. government shutdown ending before the end of this month, 17%, according to most people. 17% odds the government shutdown is going to end before the end of this month, which would be Friday. Only 3% have it ending before the 30th. 16% have it ending anytime between November 4th and 7th. 50% of people think it's going to last longer than November 16th. Yikes. 5% of people think it's going to last longer than the end of this year. They're also asking, will the labor report come out? All right, guys, here's 25 minutes. Again, I don't know if the date is coming out today. I don't think it is. I'm covering it just in case. But I don't think the durable goods are coming out today. Let's see. Two different sources contradicted each other. Walter Bloomberg's probably the more reliable one, so I don't think it's coming out today, and we'll change the title if it doesn't. But all right, here's the report. I don't think it's out. Markets haven't moved at all. Look at this candle. Nothing. All right, I guess Walter Bloomberg was right. We do not get durable good orders today. Oh, there's a drop. Yeah, I'm not showing anything either. Sorry, guys. Again, I was hoping it would come out today. One of the AI sources said that it was already compiled, and though it should release today. But fortunately, that was wrong. It is by the Census Bureau, which is a government entity, which means that probably not coming out. I can check other sources just to make sure, but yeah, Econoday and some other ones are saying it's delayed due to the government shutdown. Hey, what's up, Tiny? All right, we're in this trade. This trade is honestly pretty small. I do want to see if we can buy the dip here. I'll cut this and just wait now. But we'll trade a different account. Giving too much back. Look at that drop, though. American Airlines is going to raise up to $1.1 billion via offering of Series 2025 one pass-through certificates. We are right at the 200 exponential. Let's see if we hold here. Bitcoin's still at 115 though. A lot of optimism. A lot of shorts got liquidated in the crypto market, I heard. right, so it says Canada's September wholesale trade most likely remained largely unchanged from the previous month. Chicago's Fed real-time model puts October unemployment rate at 4.35%, which is a little unchanged since August. Air China Cargo has intention of buying 4 more A350F planes, according to them. And the top step link to the top of the chat if you guys want to check it out. Again, they're a sponsor of mine, I'm biased. But yeah, this news just came out. Chicago Fed real-time model sees October unemployment at 4.35, which is basically unchanged. You see that scroller at the bottom, or that news at the bottom of the screen. What would... Oh. Yeah, market news is still a little light. We did take a little trade here at the 200 EMA. I just want to see if this holds. But... Very choppy market though after all-time high breaks. I mean, that means maybe the opening bell we're gonna get some pushbacks on the upside. Very least we did get that 4.35% Chicago Fed unemployment. Chicago Fed. There we go. I'll take a little bit off up here if I can get filled. I haven't been getting filled easy on my limit orders today, which is strange. There we go. All right, we got one. Take another off up here. LSU needs a new head coach, bro. I was never really for Kelly. I didn't really want him as coach. I thought we could do better. I mean, I hope he wins. Not like I'm rooting against him. A&M's just good, though. You know, A&M's just good this year. They're undefeated. There we go. We'll take this off up here if we can get filled. If not, we'll manually cut it right here. Yeah, a lot of stuff's delayed. I mean, look, we got the government shutdown here. It's day 27. Oh, we're heading close to the longest in history. I think we'll do at least 35 days, probably, but you never know. It's hard to figure out what's gonna happen there. New York Fed repo operation demand at 8.4 billion. I almost want to buy this little pullback too because that's a big green candle, but we're here at the 200 exponential. When you zoom out though, you put a 5-minute chart on it, it looks sideways. You know, I mean, it looks like it might edge higher eventually, but maybe you got a higher low right here. That's a line. Show you. Maybe you got a higher low here. Start pushing up. I think that makes sense. Nvidia just quiet too. Apple, I think, close to all-time highs. Yeah, Apple 265.20s here. So Apple's been at all-time highs. as well. A lot of people didn't think Apple would get back up there quickly. Gold again close to 4,000. I think obviously a lot of people are watching. We have a lot of levels on gold. 4,025 right here. Got the big 4,000 right here. I think a lot of people are going to be watching 4K right here. It's close enough to it to where there's a risk, but depends on what the market does. Depends on what foreign policy announces here, to be honest. All right, so the president, we had China's foreign minister come out this morning. They just said, quote, they hope China and the U.S. are going to make preparation for leaders' interaction. We also had the current president, Trump, rules out VP run in 2028, hints at third term. He said he will not run for vice president in 2028, calling the idea, quote, too cute, end quote, not right. While the 22nd Amendment bars the third presidential term, some supporters have floated the idea of him running as VP and later assuming office, a move legal experts say is likely unconstitutional. He has joked about serving longer, did not fully rule out a third term, saying, I would love to do it. You'll have to tell me, end quote. I mean, let me know what you guys think will happen. Again, I don't really take sides in this type of stuff, but reporting the news. People got so mad at me when I told them inflation came in lower than expected on Friday. It's surprising because inflation did come in lower than expected on Friday, almost everywhere. You know, core month over month and year over year was lower than last time and lower than expected. Headline was lower than expected, a little bit higher than last time, but 3 out of 4 came in lower than expected and lower than the previous reading. It's still not good. It's 3% inflation. But yeah, people got mad. I don't know why they get mad at me. I'm just covering what the report says. John Powell, yeah, I mean, they're mad at me. It's not like I'm causing 3% inflation over here, you know. Apple's still pushing up, Nvidia's still fading down. I think people are just emotional, you know. I think like they get tied to an outcome, and it's confirmation bias. It's like it's what they want to happen. They want higher inflation so they can be critical, you know. And so when the inflation comes in neutral, is what I would call that Friday report, they get upset for some reason. You know, not like I'm compiling the data. I fear inflation too, though. Like, I'll just show you some of these interactions here that I had on X. Like, look, I posted this because the market reacted in a celebratory way. It doesn't even mean it's what I want, but the market reacted celebratory. Only an idiot celebrates higher inflation as a victory. Lower month-over-month readings from previous month and expectations month-over-month are usually more influential. You seem emotional. Okay. This guy posted this, inflation returns to 3%. And so I kind of got into a conversation with him. The 3% number for headline was the only one that increased from previous. Month-over-month core and headline decreased. Core year-over-year also decreased. It's easy to sell a story. The facts today showed 3 out of 4 decreasing. Still, inflation is up since earlier in the years. Like the reality of it. That's the reality of that inflation report. Like most of it was lower than expected. You know, most of it was lower than expected. I think all of it was actually lower than expected or as expected. And then he said, and costs are not down. So I showed him, I said, costs are never down unless we're in a recession. Here's a 20-year CPI graph. Please tell me how often you see inflation go negative. I said, hint, it's only during 08. I'm not betting against you. Your inflation. And then showed him this graph. Because again, the only time inflation literally does go down is during recessions. Here's 2008. And so looking for prices to literally go down as your scale of win or lose, or your scale of good or bad, you're going to have to wait a long time for prices to go down. Hopefully it's a long time and we don't enter a recession sometime soon. But people just get so upset, man. They get so upset. I'm not even against them. It's not like I'm rooting for either side here. I'm just telling you guys what happened on that inflation report. My water bill definitely inflated. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna continue anyway. Nvidia's still falling down here this morning though. The market reacted in a champagne popping way. You know? Let me ask you this. All right. If the market expects one thing, in this case 3.1%, and the market wants rate cuts, purely hypothetical, you know. It's not hypothetical. This is actually what happened, but purely hypothetical. If the market expects 3.1% and they fear higher inflation, and we show up at, let me see exactly where we showed up at. I'm pretty sure we showed up at like 3% everywhere, 0.3%, 0.2%. Market expected 0.4%. I'm pretty sure we showed up lower than expected universally last week. Yeah, here it is, right here. CPI month over month was expected at 0.4. Previously, it was 0.4. It showed up at 0.3. CPI year over year showed up at 3 versus 3.1%. Month over month showed up at 0.2%. Last time it was 0.3. Expected at 0.3. So inflation coming in 4 out of 4 lower than expected. Is that not a good thing? Market interpreted as good. Market flew higher after the data came out. NASDAQ went popping up after that data came out. And so the market interpreted as positive. I think, again, I think people have a story. They're like, yeah, inflation's going to be higher. And then when it's not, you know, they get mad at the messenger. Anyways, NASDAQ's trying to bounce back up. We are showing higher highs here. If you look at the last, few hours. We're getting closer to that all-time high. Not quite there yet, though. People who lose money will hate on anything. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay. Fed rate right now is what? It's like 4 and 4.25%. Is that right? Might be 3.75 to 4%. Yeah, currently it's 4 to 4.25. So, yeah, it's 4 to 4.25. After this meeting, they'll probably drop it at 3 3.75 to 4%. So. Sorry, I forgot to put up the live chat again. This looks like a buy on a 5-minute chart. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose money, make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not telling you to buy this, because I really don't know what we're going to get here. It looks like we're going to move back up to test highs again, but I don't know for sure. Be careful. We should do another poll here. What was the last poll? I'm gonna buy because you said to do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. I'm just a humble little YouTuber. Don't do it. Market might ignore everything and boom. That's kind of what it's been doing. I mean, markets are up on trade news. Will we get the next BLS report during the shutdown? Here's a really interesting question. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? They say there's a 10% chance we get the next BLS report. They say there's a 12% chance the Bureau of Labor Statistics stops reporting payroll data this year, so we don't get another payroll report this year. That'd be horrible. This irrational exuberance? Maybe. It could be. It's definitely possible it is. What do you guys think? Are we in an irrationally exuberant market? Just to put the context into this, in the 90s, who was it? Who gave the big irrational exuberant speech it was like 1997, I think it was. Somebody came out basically saying, hey, you know, this is irrational exuberance. Market might correct sometime, and people ignored it. And then I can't remember who it was. Y'all tell me who it was in chat. I can't remember. And then by 2000, you know, 1999, everybody was like, sheesh, you know, irrational exuberance. He was wrong. And then in 2000, we got the biggest, you know, the big pullback, the big correction that he had called originally. Greenspan. Yeah. It was Greenspan, Alan Greenspan. Are we seeing irrational exuberance right now? I think it's a different market, but it's certainly possible. Question is, when does it peak? But I think that's a much harder question to ask. You know, we might be headed towards a bubble bursting, but do we run for years until then is the real question. And that's what's hard to figure out, right? Like, we might be in a bubble now, but if we run for 3 or 4 more years, then it doesn't matter, really. You know, like, it matters, but, you know, you can't sit stagnant for 4 years either. Most people are going to consider that. So, you know, you got to figure out what you want to do. Michael Burry's dad. I'm sure Michael Burry thinks we're in a bubble right now. Does anybody know what Michael Burry thinks about all this stuff? I'm sure he thinks we're in a bubble. He always thinks we're in a bubble, though. So he told people to sell, what, like 5 years ago, 4 years ago? Too much money in cash still for irrational exuberance. All right, so Lutnick is speaking. He said Japan's 550 billion U.S. investment to target power and pipelines. He said Japan's 550 billion investment in the U.S. will now focus on low-risk national security sectors like power and pipelines. 10 to 12 Japanese companies in power and shipbuilding are exploring U.S. projects, with the first expected at the end of this year, supplying turbines, transformers, and cooling systems to expand capacity. Tariffs on Japanese semiconductors and pharmaceuticals will stay at 15%, while visa rules will be eased to bring in foreign workers for factory construction and training. Michael Burry. We were approaching euphoria. Big short position was when the SPY was around 430s. Yeah. And I get it. Like I said, I've said this many times. I understand Burry and why he believes what he believes. You know, Burry told people a crash was going to happen. A big economic real estate bust was going to happen. And nobody believed him. Everybody got mad at him. I mean, to be fair, I might get mad at Burry as well if he's risking billions of dollars on something that historically is incredibly difficult to predict. I might get mad at Burry too if it was my money. But they got mad at Burry. Some of his friends sued him, literally sued him, because he was risking too much of their money on this bet. And in hindsight, he made said friends who did end up suing him billions of dollars. You know, hundreds of millions at least. I don't know how much exactly it was. And proved everybody wrong. You know, the problem is that since then, Burry has been notorious for over predicting crashes. So, you know. Yeah. Again, at this point in time. Hold on. Warren Buffett exited the SPY at 600 at the beginning of this year. Yeah, the problem is that Michael Burry overpredicts crashes. Now, I can't even criticize him too much for it, because if you proved everybody wrong and proved the system wrong, you might be pretty pessimistic regarding market cycles in the future, you know. So D.A. Davidson's cautious on Apple ahead of earnings. So Apple earnings are this week. They reaffirmed a neutral rating and a 250 price target on Apple, citing high forward earning multiples despite low expected growth. He said iPhone growth clarity is still months away, warranting caution. You only have one song to play. That's all you're going to play. Yeah. Coinbase down. Base at 363. All I know is that I hope most of the people are wrong regarding this government shutdown. I hope we end. It is predicted now for the government to stay shut down until November 22nd. I hope they're wrong. Hey, thank you, Kay, for the donation. Coinbase is up a little bit today, though. Looking at Coinbase, it's at what, 360s right now in pre-market, so it's green on the day. It's green over the last few days, too. It's green since the 22nd. Coinbase is up a little bit. Bitcoin's back up to 115s today, so that's probably what this is. Oh, their website's down. Mine's not. Mine's working. Just tried it. Mine's fine. Yeah, when is the SNAP benefit deadline? I think there's a big date that they should hopefully get a deal done before then, but still doesn't look super likely. Put this into perspective, SNAP is like food stamps. And so if the government doesn't resume, people aren't going to be able to get their food stamps. Like a big deadline here. Yeah, so the new deadline, all federal funding currently allocated for SNAP benefits will run out on Friday, October 31st. So if the government shutdown is not resolved by the end of this week, the U.S. Department of Agriculture will have insufficient funds to issue full SNAP benefits for next month. So I think that's a good deadline to watch. I think it's important to watch that one. Texas Health and Human Services has explicitly warned residents that November SNAP benefits will not be issued if the Fed government stays shut down past today, Monday, October 27th. Yeah, it's a bad time for them, you know. I hope they get it figured out. I really do. Honestly, the Nasdaq's pretty freaking quiet this morning. Not really moving. It's big earnings week. But we zoom in here. Here's a 1-minute chart. Nasdaq's at all-time highs today. But yeah, apparently there's active legislative activity scheduled for the week, but it's kind of a continuation of the stalemate we've seen. The Senate reconvenes at 3 o'clock today. Their only scheduled votes for the day are on 2 judicial nominations, not on the CR. John Thune is expected to call for more procedural votes on the CR in the coming days. They failed to clear the 60-vote threshold 12 times already. No new senators signaling a change in positions. There's no indication that negotiations between leadership, which would be Thune, Schumer, Johnson, and Jeffries, have resumed. Both sides are still dug in on the issue of ACA healthcare subsidies. House remains on an extended, quote, district work period. That's not good. Yeah, right before Thanksgiving. Yeah, Nasdaq's pretty flat right now though. Like, look, gold is still close to 4,000, close to 4K. Do another poll here. We asked people already this morning will the U.S. and China get a deal done before the 1st. 62% think yes, 38% think no here. I'm gonna do another poll. Does the U.S. government say shut down past what? What's a good deadline? November. We'll do middle of next month. The U.S. government stay shut down past November 15th. Vote on that one now. Most people think yes. I'm missing data here or what? Gotta be missing. Okay, no. Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock right now. Chat. So we will see. Alright, so there's 9 o'clock right now in 5 seconds. All right, so we did the poll. We got about 50 votes already. 65% say yes, it does stay shut down. 35% say no. All right, there's 9 o'clock. Check any news. Procter & Gamble announced dollar-denominated two-parter. Again, markets are mostly close to highs after optimism about a U.S.-China deal. Framework agreement is essentially what it is. But outside of that, this fund managers now hold the lowest cash allocation in more than 10 years, more than a decade. LMAX Group's Joel Kruger says Bitcoin and ETH may rise towards the year end after a healthy consolidation from record highs. They say gains could be supported by adoption, institutional participation, regulatory clarity, and potential Fed rate cuts. Just want to buy this again. Let's maybe try it. I'll try. If we edge up in the last 30 minutes. Might add a little more to this. Gonna add 3. Go. I'm gonna take some off here at this big pop-up. If I can. A little bit more off there. Let the rest sit. Add on this dip too. See if we hold. We could maintain sideways. I hope not. Yes, we're so choppy right now. Look, so we have this range here, slightly upward trending. I would say we're holding at the bottom, but we're close enough to all-time highs where my bias is bullish, because all-time highs are right up here. Actually hold. Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, and again, I'm very neutral politically anyway, but I think both sides are responsible. It's both sides. Like, again, you could argue it's just one side. Like, I get it, but it's both sides at this point in time. One side is the one rejecting the resumption and the clean continuing the clean CR bills. The other side has been unwilling to negotiate further. So I genuinely think it's both. All right, so we're gonna take a little bit more off. I get it. Politics, people root for it like it's their football team, so they're gonna push one side. I get it, but it's both of them at this point. We gotta move up. I'm trying to let this work. We're getting close enough to the all-time highs where I could try to sit in this a little bit longer. We're gonna add a little bit on this little retracement. Take some off probably here. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut it. It might continue ripping up. We made money on that trade, but General Electric Aerospace extended its service contract. Did he really? I think the White House. Again, essentially what happened in video games. If you wonder why GameStop and others are up. A lot of people said the console wars with video games started with Halo in 2001. Excuse me. And so now that Halo is going non-exclusive and it's coming to PlayStation, people are saying the console wars are over. That somehow boosted GameStop. If you look at GameStop, apparently the White House retweeted this or something like that. But if you look at GameStop, GameStop's up today. I think it's up like, what, 6-7%? It's up. 7 or 8%. I'm gonna avoid saying that last phrase if I can. It's up 7%, 8%. Decent percentages. They're saying that's good. Apparently anything can move markets right now. GameStop kind of gave it back though. Look. Yeah, we got like 22 minutes until the market opens. We'll see what we get. It's the FOMC week, so it's a big week, honestly. Yeah, we're getting close. Here's all-time highs in the NASDAQ. Right here. Here, right here. So we got this range that we can maybe attack if we start to get some strength. The problem is this rejected earlier. And so... yeah, I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, so, but I'm not really, I never really cared about, I think if you get wrapped up in who's better, Xbox, PlayStation, you got too much time on your hands, you know? I don't care about either one of them. I've had a PlayStation. When Vice City came out, I remember buying a PlayStation. I had the original PlayStation too. I played both of them, to be honest. PlayStation hasn't had enough games that I've been interested in, like, versus Xbox to make me get one, but I also understand why people get PlayStation. Too tribalist. Yeah. It's any deal or sell the news. Yeah, I mean, I think the big news is that's moving markets right now. The NASDAQ is mostly up to all-time highs on optimism around a US-China deal. So essentially, they came out announcing that they had agreed on a framework for US-China deal. And so basically, leading into this week, we've had a lot of fear that US and China would not get a deal done. The deadline was for, I think, additional tariffs was November 1st, which is at the end of this week, basically. It's Saturday. I think it's November 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Saturday is November 1st. And so people were skeptical about whether we'd get a deal done with China before that deadline. Now, there's been definitely some resolution in the, you know, in the fears and the resolution in the skepticism, because now it's looking more likely that we're going to get a deal done before the 1st. They've agreed on a framework. Nothing is finalized yet, though. And so there's still that question mark of whether we're going to get a finalized deal done. If we do not, it might make our markets dump. And so that's kind of what I'm going into this week understanding, is that if we do not get a deal done, yeah, it's definitely possible market corrects. And again, the government's still shut down, so we're not really getting any big major economic data. I asked people, does the U.S. government stay shut down past November 15th? 55% say yes. Still, half of you guys think we're going to get a deal done before then. Stick to the markets. You don't know ish about video games. Sound emotional, brother. It's okay. Listen, if you are the ones that got really emotional about Xbox versus PlayStation, live your life. I'm not attacking you. You know, I'm just saying I never got emotional about it because that's not something you should get emotional about. Is who's better, Xbox versus PlayStation. You know, you might have spent your life arguing that. I'm not gonna spend my life doing it. I guess I'm doing it right now. So, but still, I like both of them. That's all I'm saying. PCs are better anyway, but the problem with PCs is that it costs like what, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to get like a good gaming PC running, and then within 2 years you got to get another one just to keep up. You know, I'd rather buy a console, you know, versus all that stuff. It's just not worth it. I've never been that serious of a gamer anyway to where I need, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, dude, the Tom Aspinall eye poke, bro. Look, I think Tom Aspinall, it's hard to say. I think he took the easy way out. I think he was losing that fight, and he took the easy way out. I think he couldn't get Cyril gone down. But Cyril, you know, I mean, it's Cyril's fault in the end. You can't really get mad at Cyril or at Tom for getting poked in the eye, both eyes at the same time. But yeah. Greenspan, you might be pretty delayed, Farmer. That was a rough poke, though. Yeah, for sure. I can't, like, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad that the fight ended like that. If I was Tom, I might have sat down, too, and said I can't, you know. And so I can't get too upset with him. But I would have loved to see that fight continue. I think Aspinall was getting he was getting clipped. You know. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes till the market opens. Rare earth mineral companies have dropped a good bit, but like USAR, still kind of mad. A friend told me about this one, and they were right, honestly. That same friend had come over for a few days and stayed at my house for a few days, so we talked about it, but my friend told me about USAR, like right here. So it hurt a little bit to see USAR run all the way up to 44, then come all the way back down basically to where it was. So that hurt a little bit. Yeah, I still think people arguing about games. And listen, whatever you choose is okay. You know? And whatever you choose is okay. If you like PCs for gaming, get you a PC. I'm just used to consoles. I grew up on consoles, so. Only games I played on PC were like non-really multiplayer games. No, I don't have United Health anymore. I sold United Health. What did I buy? Let me see. What am I in? Oh, nice. I am up in everything here. What? Yeah, okay, good. I'm up in Target. I'm up in SoFi. I'm in SoFi heading into their earnings. I'm up in PayPal. I'm up in Coca-Cola. I'm up in Hims. I'm up in Depot. Home Depot is probably the better trade I got in. Wait. Okay, yeah, that's better. Might actually deposit some. All right, guys, we got 12 minutes left. 12 minutes. All right, guys. Again, we're close enough to where I kind of want to buy the dip, but all right, so NASDAQ coming back down here. We're right at that trend line. But the NASDAQ has been really sideways leading into today's opening bell. It hasn't been the most exciting. Look at the NASDAQ fall down here. Check the news sources. Amazon's robotics team is working towards automating 75% of the company's entire operations. They're going to be laying people off from their warehouses when that happens. Yeah, my portfolio is definitely green today. I mean, yeah. All right, add a little bit more of my T-bill position for some of this extra cash that I just have sitting here. How much do I want to buy? Right now, just in treasury bonds. ETFs. It's a treasury bond ETF. Right now, what do I have? I have... How much do I have sitting in here? I've got like 15K, which isn't much. Can add like another 15. There you go. All right, now I've got like 30 or so sitting in treasury bill ETFs. See what that'll pay me. It's roughly 4% right now is what they're paying off. So if we look at how much that'll pay me monthly. I like T-bill because it deposits the balance into your account through dividends every month. So you get your dividend payment every month, your interest every month. All right, look at the NASDAQ coming back down ahead of the opening bell in 9 minutes. So just to look at this, so if they're paying me 4% of 30, I'm gonna get about $1,200 a year, $100 a month, of course. It's T-bill, TBIL. Again, not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. Most day traders lose money. And so most day traders are going to lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. You're probably going to lose day trading in the beginning. So it makes no sense to fund 5, 10, 20, 30 grand. Doesn't matter who tells you to do it. You're still probably going to lose. Limit your risk. It's $50 a month for the base one. You pass it, you get a 50K funded account. 90% split, which is similar to funding your own account. If you fail, you lose $50. Much less risk. They pay out millions, fund thousands. They have their back to funded option as well. Some of the most reliable payouts in the game. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I am biased, but genuinely useful. I'll put the link up again if you want to check it out. The NASDAQ bounced right back up here. Get 7 minutes left, 7 minutes. Yeah, the T-bill thing is like if I have cash just sitting that I'm not using, I think it makes sense to. I think it makes sense to just stick it in T-bills and get your monthly $100, $200, whatever it is. China's Commerce Ministry states, again, not an investment professional, I'm not liable if you lose. China's Commerce Ministry states will resolutely defend rights and interests of Chinese firms. They urge the UK to fix what it describes as the wrong practice reflecting tensions between the two countries. Nasdaq's popping back up. Let me see if we got any other news. They said we will resolutely defend rights and interests of Chinese firms. They say they have firmly opposed the UK's action against 11 Chinese companies, striking a firm stance against the measures. You have to leave it in for 3 months or a penalty. Not that I'm standing. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left. Yeah, sorry if my toss noise scared a lot of you guys. Sorry. Hey, are they going to be speaking about rate cuts today? I mean, not outside of the FOMC, or not if you're talking about like the FOMC decision and meeting. That's Wednesday. That's this Wednesday. Yeah, so with T-bill, you don't have to leave it in. You can sell it whenever you want. Now, it moves up and down. So if you sell it when it's down, you're going to lose a little bit. But like, look, it's supposed to stay stable. Here's the stable movement. Again, trade buy at your own risk. That's just me. That's if I got cash sitting and I'm hesitant to buy more markets, I will buy T-bill and just sit on it and earn my little money every month without much worry. What do you mean, what's today? Today is just a normal market day. It's Monday. Markets are up at all-time highs. Nasdaq's bouncing back, though. Look at this. I don't see any news to cause it, so it looks like it's a normal market swing. The U.S. now has 5,420 plus data centers, more than all other major countries combined, and there are 40 billion worth of data centers under construction right now, which is up over 400% since 2022. All right, Nasdaq heading higher here. We got 3.5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, Powell might be in my thumbnail because we're talking about the FOMC week this week, but that doesn't mean anything. The FOMC week, we got the FOMC meeting this week. Of course, we're talking about Powell today, and we have a bunch already. Is that really going on, Corey? Powell's hunk. Yeah. Yeah, New York opens in 3 minutes. If you're overseas, apparently it's the UK time difference today. There's some type of time difference. This is in Michigan, Corey? All right, guys. We're going to trade the opening bell. We got 2.5 minutes. I almost want to buy this dip, but we're too close to the bell. I'll wait. For green, I think. I don't have to look. We did a poll. 56% the government's going to stay shut down longer than November 15th. I hope y'all are wrong. But I get why y'all are voting on that. I understand. I hope you guys are wrong, but I understand. All right, guys, here's the open. We got 2 minutes. Also, Tom and Gain. I thought Tom took the easy way out, but I also understand why he did. If he can't see out of one eye and you got to go 20 more minutes in a fight with Cyril Gahn, I might take that out too. But I wanted to see the fight continue. I was still mad about it. All right, guys. Hey, we got a minute left. Look at this big red candle here ahead of the opening bell. We got 1 minute. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. Subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of different sources, man. I see Polymarket. I see Kalshi. I see a bunch of them. Love you. Your brother in here. Damn it. He hasn't come in here. My son didn't finish a project. They've been struggling to finish the project this morning. I can't say I'd never done that when I was a kid. Don't tell him that, though. All right, NASDAQ still under the 200 exponential. We got 20 seconds. 20 seconds. All right, NASDAQ dropping ahead of the opening bell. Here's the bell right now. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed, but there's the drop. Look at the market rip up. Just broke all-time highs right at the opening bell. We just tapped all-time highs. Look at this. We got up to 856 just now at the opening bell. 856. Is Google pushing up? Apple pushing up? NASDAQ just broke all-time highs at the open. Look at Apple here at the top. All-time high break in the first 30 seconds after the opening bell. AMD's actually coming down a little bit, but AMD's at all-time highs as well now. Look at that. We tapped all-time highs, got up to 855, and then retraced all the way back down at the opening bell. So we were pretty close. Hey, man. Do your project. Love you, bro. Have a good day, man. Anyways, look at AMD. Apple up to 266 right now. NASDAQ just broke all-time highs again in the second minute since the opening bell. AMD's fading though. Yeah, NASDAQ just broke all-time highs. 860. Now the new all-time high in the NQ, 860. I gotta wait at least 2 more minutes to trade this, but yeah, I'm still in target. A little piece of it. Still in it, but liquidated some of it. All right, new all-time highs, 860 here. I also had a really good buy on Home Depot. Like, I bought Home Depot at 380. It's at 390. So, and I've already liquidated a lot of it. Alright, guys. So AMD pulling back a little bit. NVIDIA up slightly since the bell. Yeah, Bitcoin 115. I think we do have new home sales today at 10. All right, here's this pullback coming through. We're at 835s. Holding right here at the 200 exponential. Here's another test of the all-time highs. The NASDAQ. I'll put the SPY up here so people can watch the SPY too. SPY's not doing as good as the NQ at the open. Again, we're 3 minutes into the day, so it's still a little bit. I can only trade 4 or 5 minutes. I won't trade. I'll try not to trade ahead of 3 or before 4 minutes have passed since the opening bell. The highs. I'll try to buy it here. It's a little bit close. We're about 4 minutes in. That's the only reason I can buy it now. 4 minutes a day. Add a little bit to this. If we retrace the top up there, but not looking good. Still probably a little bit too early after the bell. I gotta cut it. Trade a different bet on that. Kind of choppy since the opening bell, though. I mean, we're not really doing much. Starting to break down, though. Kind of extending some of these red losses. A little bit of red showing up. Let's get a liquidity grab or what happens here. Definitely some red at the open. Look at that candle. Still red. Looks weak. Let's break it down here. So let's look at Nvidia. Went back down. Again, I think the big fear is if the US and China don't get a deal done. Fear. Deadline's supposed to be November 1st, which is at the end of this week, essentially. Like a short, but we could also bounce back. It's very sideways. What Apple does. We're gonna get a rebound back up. We got an opening range here. The bottom is right here at 95s. Get this rejection at the exponential happens. Nvidia is back up, but we're still very sideways. Chat. Hey, thank you for the donation. If China bans all rare earth metal exports to the U.S., doesn't that crush the U.S. economy? It hurts it for sure. You know, it definitely hurts it. It hurts the AI sector and tech sector is what happens. We're getting close to all-time highs here, and we've gotten we've gotten close enough to it where maybe the bulls are going to start taking control. If this holds. Like a push-up wants to happen here. Here's Nvidia too. We've got a little bit of a trade going on, but show you. We're coming right back down. We're basically flat since the open on this one. Target is flying up. Target's at $97 a share. Right now, Nvidia's starting to rip back up too. I want to give this time though. There we go. A little bit. I want to see if this goes up to test all-time highs. Look at Nvidia. Wow. There we go. More off up here. Like everybody else is taking it off up there too. So close to all-time highs. I'm gonna leave these last two and just let it see if it tests. Yeah, everybody's taking profit up here at the top. I'll cut it right here and wait. We're green on that trade. That's good. We have Fed Wednesday, Google, Microsoft earnings, and more Wednesday. Yeah, but Wednesday is also, just to put this into perspective, Wednesday is the anniversary of 1929 stock market crash. It happened on October 29th, 1929. So Wednesday is actually the anniversary of the 1929 stock market crash. We've got a bunch of big tech earnings coming out too. I might pivot to more of a short bias thesis right now if we can't hold here. Apple's turned all the way back down to 265, so... I'm going to try to short a small piece here. Small. Close enough to that opening range low. We'll try to scalp a move down here if we can. There we go. I'll cut half of it there just to protect it. See if we get a flush back down. If not, it'll be break even. Push up past my entry. We get over the 200 exponential. I see Apple rising too. Here's the problem. And if Nvidia bounces back on the dip, then more than one can rise. That's my only fear here. Yeah, there's Nvidia rising on the dip. But we're starting to push down. Exit. Oh, I guess we'll wait for it. There we go. Atlanta Fed GDP now 3.9% for quarter three. Previously it was 3.9%. We do have new home sales at 10. I don't know how much that's really going to do move things. Yeah, so I got out. We're mostly flat on that one. Just getting stuck in the chop. Yeah, gold's getting close. I think the Nasdaq's going to break all-time highs again today, but we'll try to attack this. There we go. We can dip a little bit more, we'll buy some more. Last week was such a good week too, man. There's a dip. All right, we're in 3. There we go. Get up there to all-time highs. It is the FOMC week, so maybe the market's just choppy ahead of that. The Nvidia is pulling back, but Apple's pushing up here. Try. There we go. We're in 4 micros. Yeah, see, we're just chopping sideways now. And we'll go back to another one. Scheduled. All right, will we break highs again? Might jump back in here if we look like we're going. Close enough to it where I think we got some edge attacking that. But we got 13 minutes until this. I don't think we have any big earnings today. Hold on, let me see. All right, so we just jumped back in. Got 40 ticks there. We pulled all the way back. I'm gonna hold it break even. We got close enough to all-time highs. Start liquidating some as we go break even. We're so choppy, but I think it's likely. We got the Xi-Trump meeting this week. I think we're down slightly since the open. Yeah, target up to 97.30s. We're still holding most of it. We took a little bit off this morning just for profit taking a bit. We're doing okay in that one. Good buy where we bought it. We bought it at 86. It's at 97s for target, so it was a good buy there. All right, I'm gonna add to this, see if we get a rip back up to highs. We held support there at that 200 exponential. We're just chopping towards the top. Again, it's FOMC week. There we go. So there's a chance we just chop until tomorrow. Might take a little bit more risk and add to this if we can. Yeah. Hitting. If I add, I'm just gonna add 2 more, I think. Just don't want to get stuck in like a breakdown. We've been breaking under the 200 exponential multiple times, so like when it drops fast. Hopefully we rebound back up and make another move. I gotta cut it. I'm getting faked out on this move. We're just sideways. It's not really favorable direction. I think we're gonna break highs eventually, but you know, we're down. But I don't know when it's gonna be that we actually break highs. Again, Nvidia's starting to pull back a little bit here too. So is Apple. See what Nvidia does here. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty likely to cut rates 25 basis. That's probably what we're gonna do. We do have existing, or we have new home sales at 10. I don't think the market's really waiting for that. I think there's a chance it is, but man, this is some of the worst price action I've seen a while. Not the worst I've seen ever, for sure, but boring. I mean, the market's at all-time highs because of optimism around U.S.-China relations. What's going on? But if we don't get a deal done, it could backfire. I think we could correct fast. As long as we don't have some type of continuation in U.S.-China struggles. Maybe it's range day for markets for me. Hey, thank you, Chef. Yeah, he's going okay, man. It's feeling better. I'm walking mostly normal. But I appreciate the thought. Feeling mostly better. Still can't train or anything, but. All right, pushing up close to the highs again. Let's see if we're actually going to break it this time. Yeah, we're getting close to the highs. See if we can hold over that 200 EMA that we've been struggling with. All right, this is round 3 here on this trade. We're up nicely. I want to see if we break all-time highs. A little bit more off there. I'll let the rest ride. All right, here we go. Let's see if we push. Look at Apple. Apple's testing highs. That's good. A little bit more off there. We'll add on a pullback if we get it. There's a pullback. We're going to add to this. See if we rebound quick. Which we did. See if we can take some more off up here. All right. There's the push to all-time highs. Take one more off. We'll leave the rest up here. So close, so I'm going to add on this retracement again. Nice. Take another piece off. We're now green on the day, which is good. We fought our way back to green. There we go. Basically there. All right, we've made money on this trade so far. I think it's gonna at least test this level. I'm not confident it's gonna break it, but new home sales in 4 minutes. Oh wait, do new home sales come out? Oh, look, I turned the other way. Let me see if we can hold here. I'm gonna add to this too, I think. It's too big of a pullback. I think I'm gonna get out. We made money on the trade for sure. We made a bunch. Like, you can kind of see the trades. You look at it, mostly green here, but this might get bought up real quick. All right, new home sales in 3 minutes. I don't know. Wait, let me make sure. This is scheduled, but new home sales might not release either. All right, here's that retest, which I thought we would do. Okay, wait, I guess the new home sales is delayed as well. So, all right. Here's that retest of highs. I hope they get a deal done this week. I really do, so they can avoid the snap expiry of benefits. All right, there's the test of highs. If we get it again. We've mostly made money today. I know it might be a little greedy of a trade here, but I just want to see if we move up there and test. There we go. We're up there. We're so close to all-time highs. All-time highs are at 860. So close to all-time highs. I want to see if the buyers step in here. We have 4 micros, but give it a chance for a push. I don't usually buy high the days. I just think all-time highs are. I think they're milestone of enough of a level enough to drag us up there potentially. Might take a second though. Let's see. All right, new home sales. I don't think new home sales are actually coming out today, so my bad. We actually made money after the opening bell, believe it or not. Even though we had some losses. It's been pretty choppy though. The only thing I worry about is that if we do not get pulled up to break all-time highs here and a sell-off ensues, that's the only thing I'm really worried about here. So my hand's got to be over the cover button. All right, here we go. We're back to all-time highs. All right, there we go. We got very, very close to it. We didn't quite break it yet, but we got very, very close to NASDAQ all-time highs. There we go. We're green. There we go. I'm going to take half off up there. It happened quick. I don't think we broke all-time highs, though. We got up to a couple dollars away. All right, let's add back. See if we retest that level. Do not copy me, guys. It's a risky buy. But, you know. If we get it. We got close enough. There we go. We're green. Not quite all-time highs yet. Yeah, it's looking less likely. It looks like we're going to test it again, but... Okay, we're right back up there. I'll take some of my size off here. Just to protect it. There we go. All right, we took another piece off up there. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm out and I'm green on the day. We got the all-time high break. I don't want to hold it for a big breakout past the all-time highs. I don't think we got new home sales today either. Let me make sure. Yeah, new home sales didn't come out. QCOM announces the launch of QCOM A1 AI200 and AI250 chip-based accelerator cards and racks for data centers. So we did get the high of the day break, the all-time high break in the NASDAQ. We were able to capitalize on it in green. All right, so yeah, I'm out, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Again, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. A little bit slower here since we don't have any economic data. Here's the link. Again, you can reset funded accounts with the same rules as normal funded accounts. Some of the most reliable payouts in the game. $50 a month is all it takes to get started. A great way to learn how to day trade when most day traders lose money. And so check it out. There's the link. I put it up in chat. NASDAQ is currently breaking all-time highs. Again, remember, not an investment professional. There's the link in chat if you want to check Top Step. Genuinely the best way to learn, in my opinion. You can kind of learn without the burn. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'll be back tomorrow. And again, we got the big FOMC decision later this week. So I'll see you guys then. Y'all be safe. As soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to tomorrow's stream. So be ready. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all be safe today. NASDAQ at all-time highs. We're green somehow. Gold's breaking down. And we'll see if the FOMC meeting treats us well later this week. Later, chat.